Hola amigos, me llamo Avengel. Bienvenido a Mexico. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And well, today we're flying us out of, as you can guess, Mexico. We're taking Blackbird's 310, formerly Milviz, specifically so I can use the TDS GTN750. Now we're flying through some gorgeous mountains here today, which will be the Volcán Nevado de Colima National Park, which is just south of here, across the lake, which is, I believe, Cerro Las Capilas? No, that's not it. That's something else. That's a different place entirely. We are flying down past... well, we'll see on the map in a second. I love how I forget something almost immediately as I ruin my recording straight away. I think. We'll find out. Everything's going right for me today. Let's get in the aircraft. Right, fuel cocks... Oh, hello. You can go away. Should be correct. I think they are. We'll just quickly check those. They are. Excellente. So we'll get those up and running. Those are cocked and locked. And we'll get ourselves rocking and rolling quickly today. This is going to be annoying and loud in a second, so we'll get ourselves moving. Get the engines running as soon as we can here. Clear prop. Oh, wait, I need to have the magnetos turned on. That often helps with engine starts, doesn't it? There we go. Get those going again, and we'll get right started as well. Now, we're using the Navigraph database for North America, of course, and we have the Garmin Trainers database as well. So it's not entirely perfectly in sync with the sim, but that's not the end of the world. So we don't have a location where we are right now.
System test okay.
Thank you, Tors. We'll add a waypoint, which is MMIA. Colima. That's going to be our destination. I may have set that incorrectly. I've gone through the manual here for the airport, but it never seems to show up for me for some reason. So we will get to see that. We'll go to our map. And we have the routing there, so that's fine. There's the route behind us, so that should be just fine. So we'll take off, flight out of the coast, and we'll join that for this run. So what are my temperatures looking like? Okay, GT is still on the low side, that's fine. Everything's green right now. We're looking pretty good to start. So, without further ado, I believe these need to be set to low. Take off and flight. So we should be good with that. Right, we're pretty close to buildings here. Now, this is an add-on scenery. So obviously, things could be varied. It's not insane, but it's not bad either. I quite like it. That should be enough for us. Okay. Quaint little Mexican airport. There we go. I like the little building. The style's nice as well. Very small airfield. We've got 2,100 feet, which is just about enough for what we're doing with this. So we get ourselves taxied out here on a very tiny little taxiway. There's not much to this airport. There's a couple of buildings, some little taxiways. We've got a grass, or dirt I should say, and this one paved runway. I wanted something nice in the area to fly out of rather than default scenery, and we got it, so... Okay, we're set to the correct positioning there on our flaps. Get out onto the runway here. And we'll get ourselves airborne now and on our way. Before we go, I'm going to quickly pull up chart page. Obviously we have no charts for here. And maybe this, yeah, not covered in North America. This would be technically Central America. But I don't know where Navigraph cuts off actually, so there is that. Okay. It's not a too short a runway, but it's short enough that we need to consider ourselves here on runway 14. So let's get ourselves rolling. Speed's alive. Map's alive. A bit of a slope to the end of this thing. Speed's coming up. Oh yeah, that's not usable down there. Is this going to yell at me about terrain in a second? Probably.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
No, there isn't.
Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain
There is
ahead.
no terrain.
Pull up.
No.
Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead.
One of the useful safety features of this aircraft is it does have terrain warning and audible alerts, which are very useful when they're correct. There appears to be something weird about this area that's causing a little bit of confusion for it, but we'll go with that. Okay, so we'll quickly have a look down here and see what we're dealing with. Okay. So we're on the correct heading now to intercept our track. Then we'll be turning south with it. Let's get our trim set here so we can just establish ourselves. I have to actually worry more about flying the plane right now than talking. Why are you showing things so big? Oh, there's the lake. Okay. That's better. We can work with that. Let's get our power pulled back here. Get ourselves established for flight. We're gaining altitude. We're gaining airspeed. We are good. Okay. So, yes. We are flying in Mexico today. We're just south of Guadalajara, and that was Poco Airport. We just took off from PAK. I will include a link to that in the description, as always. And this is the GTN750NXi. This was given to me by the guys at TDS. Thank you very much for that. Now, I'm not a huge expert when it comes to navigation instruments. However, I've used the PMS for about a year, and in fact I was actually lamenting whether I might try the TDS in a previous video, because I have the subscription version of the PMS, not the lifetime edition. So I was unsure what I thought. So we'll steer a bit more on course here. We have the mountains up ahead. In fact, we could probably cut across this and save some time, so we'll do that. Will be the Lago de Salea. Should be on the far side of the mountain just ahead of us. My Spanish is not perfect, so I do apologize ahead of time. We'll get ourselves on a reasonable course here, still climbing en route. And we'll be flying a rather interesting area today. We'll be heading towards the Volcán Nevado de Colima National Park, which is, we're flying to Colima, but this region is a large stretch of volcanoes in Mexico. Now, we have several which are pretty active, including Volcán de Colima. Nevado de Colima, which is where we'll be flying right past, is an extinct volcano, or an inactive volcano. However, the Volcán de Colima, also known as Volcán de Fuego, is the most active in Mexico, and it's erupted 40 times since 1536, I believe, which is pretty impressive. Let's turn my head off here whilst I have a look at my notes. So yes, we're flying over one of the larger lakes here just south of Guadalajara. I don't remember the name of it offhand. I had it in my notes, I somehow deleted it, so there is that. So the GTN. Now, this includes a lot more features than I think I was expecting. It's a much broader system, whether that's because it's the newer NXi, I think is more likely. It has more features to it, including, as you heard, tours, it has collision alerting, it has traffic alerts, it can have emergency support, which we will test out later. It has an emergency glide feature, which is quite cool and very effective. So let's make sure we are setting things here. We are at quite high altitude, in fact. In fact, you know what? That's why I felt like I took off with such sluggish performances. I had not considered my actual altitude of departure. That's a rookie mistake. But as you can see right now, we're not super high up, but we're actually passing through about 8,000 feet right now. Welcome to the mountainous regions of Mexico. Now, it's a gorgeous country, and I really do want to fly here a lot more. So far, I've only really flown twice. There were a number of really cool small strips, dirt strips around that I flew out of, but they seem to have disappeared from the world of the internet, which is a crying shame, because they were a lot of fun to fly. Unfortunately, most of flightsim.to's airports in Mexico are all international airports, like most of them on that website, which is sad, but there you go. So I am, once I get ourselves on track here, going to intercept this and pick up on the autopilot. In fact, we'll do that now, just so I can spend more time playing with the GPS so we can explore it together. For those who don't use it, I know a lot of you do use the TDS. I have read the manual. I didn't retain most of it because I am stupid, but I do try my best. Okay, so heading is good. There we go. So we're locked on to our course right now, which is going to be good for us. We should gain some speed here. Check my GT actually. Lean our mixture off here. That seems perfect just aft of lean. And once we get closer to our track, we will pick that up and we'll navigate with it. So having two of these is fantastic, obviously, if you've got room and the money, because they're not exactly a cheap unit in real life. I wonder if any of these work. Can I use it? I could put a SIM card in this? Are you kidding me? Oh my god, you can put the pilot, co-pilot, passengers on the call. Okay, that's pretty neat. We can send SMS. We can put music in this stuff. I could put my own in. Maybe I could put my own music in this. That would be insane. Contacts, position reports, automatic reporting. This does offer a lot of functions and utilities. So we have VNAV, trip planning, fuel planning, timers, rain predictions. We have TAS winds, logs. There's so many functionalities, and emergency gives us smart glide. We won't test that now, but we will test that. So there is the Lago di Salea, and this is the Lago di Chapala, or Chapala. Lago di Chapala, next to Paco, which is where we took off from. So this is showing, I believe, my expected glide range currently, which is quite a useful feature of it. It tells you what you've got when you already have it, which is quite a cool functionality. And if I was to enable this, it would actually show us exactly what we've got. So, yep, no airports in range, but this is what room we've got, realistically, which is kind of cool. Cancel glide. Yeah. It will calculate based on airspeed and altitude what we can actually manage, which is super cool. Okay. And we're close to intercepting this right now. We're on GPS, so we'll switch to nav. And that will intercept us and turn us on course. Let's take a look outside, actually. Farmland here, lakes. Lago di Salea. And we'll be heading towards the volcanoes in just a moment up ahead. Great aeroplane for touring, the 310. I like the Blackbird livery as well. The silver really suits this aircraft. So like I mentioned, now the Volcán Nevado de Colima National Park is a national park in western Mexico, and it protects the upper slopes of two volcanic mountains, as we mentioned, Volcán de Colima and Nevado de Colima. And this is in the states of Jalisco and Colima here in the west. Now, Nevado de Colima itself is 4,200 meters tall. Volcán de Colima is 3,950 meters tall. The park boundary is following about a 3,200 meter contour from the mountains there, so it's mostly the mountain slopes themselves. Nevado de Colima is older, and as I mentioned, Volcán de Fuego is the most active in Mexico. Now, this is one of the cool things I like about this GTN unit is we have really accurate terrain detailing here. It's going to show me in a really clear, precise terms what's close to me. It's not as messy as the other units in the sim. it can really show us good, strong detail here of what we're in range of. And it shows us distances to the aircraft. I can know at a glance that's 5 nautical miles away. And it's not going to be a conflict because it's yellow, it's just close, which is super useful. And we have tours operating, of course, as well. Now, charts don't really work for here. However, if I was to go into here and search up Walker's Island, for example, so I can get information, I can get departures, I can get arrivals, no, I can get approaches, yeah. Oh, where I clicked off that there. Okay, how do I get to the next chart? Is there a next chart? Oh, I can go full screen. Hell yeah, baby. So I only have details for this one. There we go. But you can pull up all sorts of information, especially if I go here. I can actually get the layout map there. Search through things, see what my services are. Flying club, various parking locations. I can get weather data for it. 26th of January, this is what my automated data is pulling from. Winds 1708 knots, winds gusting to 14, visibility 10 statute miles, scattered at 1300, overcast at 2500. So it's not particularly nice right now at AUKUS. We'll also get our frequencies, and we can get any NOTAMs, and there aren't any. So it really does offer us a lot of functionality, and the depth is pretty cool. Now we also have traffic awareness here as well. No traffic around me, so it's not going to show anything, but it does give us a really good opportunity to use that. So I'm going to play more with the GPS whilst we're basically flying here. Once we get a little closer to the volcanoes, we'll go and look a bit more outside the aircraft. There we are. Now what I don't know is how to actually center this back on myself again. No, that's creating waypoints. We can actually click and actually create things, which is fantastic here. We can graphically edit the flight plan on the fly, and I can click and move it if I want to, which is fantastic. So that's got us centered on the line again, and will be showing us there. Oh, God. What did I do? Yep, GPS, there we go. Are we good here? I don't think we're good. No, what? Are we good? Are you confused? Are you okay? This does not feel right. No, 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 no. What are you doing? Get back on course. Come on. That's it. What are you doing? No. Okay, sod off. I hate autopilots. They're always stupid. They hate me, and I hate them, and we have an unhealthy relationship, and it's fine. Make me fly the darn plane, okay? Why don't you? Yeah. I want to play with the GPS, and you're going to make me sit here and babysit you. Did I break the flight plan? I broke the flight plan. That will do it. Okay, so we'll correct this. I need to stop off that scrolling for zoom, but it's so useful to use it. Okay, AP, heading, and altitude. There we go, and I will fix what I've done here. Okay. That is as it should be. Why is this not as it should be? Oh, right. Wait, we're going somewhere after this? We are? Oh, I'm going straight out to sea. Okay, that's cool. It wants to kill me. The computers have taken over and the world wants to murder me. This is fine. We'll fly this manually. We're already on a direct course to intercept it as it stands, so we're okay. We'll all live happily ever after. Speaking of volcanoes, look over there. We'll make this a geography trip rather than necessarily messing with that. Obviously, while I know a lot of the functions and buttons, it's going to take me a lot of time to get comfortable with it because this operates like a real one. It's not got some of the limitations the Sim 1 does have, and other versions. It requires a different skill set and learning. In fact, we're going to start climbing here, actually, because I could definitely do with seeing more of that. So obviously 4,000 meters is about 12,000 feet, so we need to go up a little bit more. There we go. That's a bit much. Are you going to try and murder me again? Is everything trying to kill me today? Yes, it is. Oh, you want to climb at 2,500 feet a minute? That's cute. We'll try en routing at 500, yeah? Yeah? We're good with that? Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, wonderful. So whilst it tries to murder me, we'll go back down here. I swear. So under system settings, obviously we have GPS statuses, which is pretend, because obviously it's got that. It's a simulator. Our backlight we can control, we can change our tones, we can change our levels. We've got all our airspace alerts, which can be turned on and off. Arrival alerts. Obviously these aren't plugged in because it's not actually in the aircraft, so that would be a factor. Audio. I'm going to turn you down because you're annoying. Perfect. Setup. So we can put CDI scales, we can change our airport listings, home, keyboard style, QWERTY or alphabetical. There's so much control and functionality in this, which is really cool, that I absolutely love. And it being clickable is really useful as well. Now, it's not just a GPS. Obviously, it has got the full audio panel in there. It's got our navcom, which is wonderful. And obviously, it gives us the ultra high resolution mapping, terrain information, mapping features, water bodies, political borders as well, which is really super useful. Roads, cities. We've got nav data. So our VORs, waypoints, airports, diagrams and taxiways. Nav database, as well as most of those other ones. Most of it's worldwide coverage. Obviously the charts on the ground is just Navigraph's northern US charts, and we got those are the georeference charts, I should say, which is wonderful to have. Okay, so this is, I believe, if I'm correct, Nevado de Colima. Over beyond this will be the Volcán de Fuego, which we might just about see on our way down here. Flying right along the flanks of the volcano. Down there, sprawling city. Not sure which one that is. Let's take a look outside and have a proper look at it, shall we? Beautiful imagery down here, actually, I will say. Look at that. One of the major southern highways down there. So this is Nueva de no, again, Nevado de Colima, I should say, or Colima. Cool. I keep getting blown away by the quality of the actual mapping in this game. The quality of the actual 3D mesh detailing that we can see. Such a gorgeous representation of that volcano. I absolutely love it. Okay, so we're not super far from Colima right now. Shouldn't take us too long at all. But we'll pop up the terrain radar here and see how much it screams about that. Which is useful. And once we get to our airport of destination, we're actually going to activate Smart Glide and see if it can basically give me the details of the airport and bring me in. That's going to be our test. How useful is it in the sim? Obviously, we're a bit of a distance away right now, but we are 12.4 nautical miles out from Colima. The volcano is right there, showing us the peak. And that is Ciudad Guzman, I believe, there, right behind us. So this is still showing us our general range, and you can see how this is moving as we fly, and it's following the aircraft. So it's giving us a really good awareness of what we can really manage. Obviously, we can't go much further that way because Volcano says no. as they are wont to do. It has been very busy for me recently. Maybe that will explain why I sound scatterbrained and stupid today. But I try my best for you guys. I try and bring you useful information and fun flights, and I gotta say the scenery on this one's pretty darn good, if I'm honest. Pretty darn good. I love volcanoes. They're fantastically interesting. But it's even giving us there the details on the altitude there of the terrain. What we need to achieve to get past it. Showing us our direction of travel. We're heading up. I just keep clicking buttons. I'm one of those people. We can get an arc, we can get 360, we can get the flight plan laid on here. And it's showing us our obstacle wire, terrain altitudes. Really useful. Okay, so once we get our little blip over the airport we're heading to, we'll put that information in, we'll set it to emergency mode, and we'll let this thing try and fly us. Well, not fly, but we'll let it try and basically guide us to where we want to go. I need to take another look at the mountain. Do excuse me. Got the forested lower slopes here, typical of the region and volcanoes in general, at least in this part of the world. The actual caldera will be up there, or the crater will be up here, behind the peak there. This will be a smaller cinder cone that's existed. There are several cinder cones around the area. These are where basically eruptions have occurred and debris has been laid down on top of a vent. So vents can crop up anywhere, but you'll find these smaller peaks on bigger, older volcanoes. Also got these valleys running down here, whether they've been from water or created by flows of other kinds. It all depends. Every volcano is unique. In many cases it's water running down them, because you end up with essentially a mountain leading to tributaries and streams and water that comes along, and it will erode the surface and leave you with these winding, gorgeous valleys leading out from the terrain. Sometimes they're created volcanically, mostly it's hydraulically. So over here we will see Volcán de Fuego just beyond the clouds. So there's the main crater you can just about make out there. And I should think we're soon arriving into range for Colima. Okay, let's take a look at this thing and see how we're faring. So we're over our destination airport in terms of that. Where did that hide again? Big obvious button. Wonderful. So I'm going to let us get a little bit closer before we activate Smart Glide, because I'm going to throttle back to idle as if I have an engine problem. I've still got the engines turning, but they're not, you know, we're not going to get any power. We'll do a simulated emergency rather than actually cutting the engine. I'm going to actually cut the engines. We're going to do this properly, aren't we? Yes. Can I feather? Does feathering work in the sim? We'll find out. Okay, so once we're safely in range for Colima, I'm going to give myself the best opportunity here to not screw this up. Although I'm sure I still will. Oh, I forgot my favourite little guy. Where are you? There we are. Hey. There we go. And where's the other click spot? I remember you're down here. There we go. Okay. So I'd say we're comfortably in range right now. Whether that's good or not is another matter entirely. Because I know this thing can glide like a brick sometimes, so I'll give ourselves a bit more room. Is that it over there? Yeah, that's it over there. Okay. I'll give us another minute or two. What are we at right now? 7.5. I'll make it 6. Okay? We'll go from 6. Especially if we have to make almost a 90-degree turn to make it into this thing. Oh, what the heck? What's an emergency with that little risk, right? Oopsie, the engine stopped. Smart glide. Okay. What do we got here? Okay, so it's vectored us automatically to the nearest airport. And we are feathered. So we've got our best glide opportunity here. Get our nose down. Okay, autopilot's still engaged. It's actually kicked it off. No? It hasn't kicked it off. It has now. Should have done that one first. It's quiet up here, isn't it? Really quiet. I feel like it shouldn't be this quiet, but there we go. It's a test. So what information am I actually reading out here? We've got our direction of travel. We're at... Okay, so it's saying it's 3,000-ish feet below us. And that's 6,200 feet AGL. Okay. So is it going to be any other information once we get a little bit closer? We'll find out. But I'm pretty sure it's down there, so... Head back on. And we'll do this like we're going to. I'm going to overhead the airport and then come around to the left and bring her in down below. And we should be okay. Has it given me any other information? Popped up anything in terms of weather or... No, it's just given me this. Okay. So, passing through 10,000. A couple of thousand feet to lose, so we are plenty on the glide. But that doesn't mean everything in terms of an approach. Can't see it. There it is. There she is below us. We'll overtop and we'll start to circle. That's our best way to lose altitude in here in a glide. Turns out though the Milviz 310 will glide and it will feather, which is useful. Very effectively actually. Just in case we smash this into the ground, we'll set our fuel pumps there. This has changed. What's it giving me? Approaching airport. Okay, we'll bring the nose round a little bit to line up with our track here. It's indicating. Okay. Coming through 9,000 shortly. We're about 3,000 above the airport. Okay, everything's good here. I love how the texture looks on this aircraft. It is stunning. Weird time to talk about the texturing, but there we go. Okay. Maneuver and land. Okay, so it's telling me to maneuver and land. Well, I was thinking I'd do that. I thought it'd land for me. Who knows? I love how it has to pop that up in red. Like, hey, you should probably maneuver and land now. No crap, of course. But it's cool that the feature works. It is actually locking onto the nearest airport and giving me an actual place to go to. What I like, though, is that based on my current speed, it's giving me that outline on the map, showing me where I can get to from where I am. So it's a really cool bit of information you might not necessarily need to use, but it's great to have, because you might want to slightly deviate to allow that. Arriving at waypoint, okay. Can't see where we're going. I think we're directly over top right now. I believe those industrial buildings down below were at the airport, so... They're not. But it is worth manoeuvring now. God, this is gorgeous country. Look at that river valley ahead. That is so pretty. I should come back here with engines. There we are. Okay, I have airport in sight. Airspeed is good. Runway is long, so that's helpful. Okay. I think we have 2, 5, and 11, maybe. I'm not quite sure. Okay, based on current airspeed, I'm going to... altitude is still pretty high. We're coming through 7,000 or 6,500 right now. Notice how our radius is shrinking. Obviously, it's smaller behind us because we have to turn around, and turning around would lose airspeed. So our forward distance is bigger on the glide radius there on that map, showing us what we can actually do. So we can go that far out if we keep straight because we've got the most energy. If we have to turn around, we can't go as far. There's the airfield. Okay. So... Okay. What information is it giving me again? We're 3,000 feet above ground level, so it's giving us our altitude above ground. Okay, so we're good for now. There's the airfield. Still a lot of altitude here to burn off, so we'll just try and do that now without too much concern. I will do a clockwise circle here. And I'll racetrack off this end of the runway. We're going to commit to landing this direction. So we'll perform a circle just to burn off some of this altitude. We're descending at 500 feet per minute, which is fine. Or just over about 1,000 actually right now. We've been really trying to drop it. Alright. Let's start turning. We'll see what this does to our glide circle. Or glide area. Obviously that's dynamically moving as we turn. The fact this works in the sim is great. I really love this. The fact it's giving it this information. It's probably telling us this is the GPS positioning of the actual aircraft and it's using its reference information. Looking for the airport out the window. That ground's getting awful close. It should be parallel right now. There it is. 2,000 feet above the ground. I really want to burn off another 1,000 before I try and make this approach. It's just a little bit too much. Our radius is good though in terms of what we can reach, so I need to be aware of that. Okay, arriving at waypoint, I know. Just once more around the mulberry bush and we should be fine. Obviously, it's showing the airport now out of range, but that's fine, we'll be turning. Keep an eye on my speed. When we come around this time by, we should have enough airspeed to basically use it, that saved kinetic energy, in our final descent, and also to maneuver here. I may have to give it a slip, but we'll be just fine. We've got range on the runway there. Okay, so once we come around here, this should tell us we're in range of the airfield. We've got 1,700 feet. I'm going to drop the nose here a little bit more. There we go, let the nose settle. God, that terrain looks amazing. Airspeed's picking up here. There's the runway. Okay, gear down. We're committing. Little bit of a side slip here to burn some of this speed off. And the altitude.
Sink rate. Pull
yes,
up.
I'm aware.
Pull up. Pull
I'm aware.
up. Pull up.
I'm aware.
Pull up. Pull
I'm aware.
Up. Pull up.
Leave me alone, I know what I'm doing.
Pull up.
This is not going to be graceful. Okay, it's going to be graceful. Whew. That was almost graceful. High-speed exit. Okay, so we made it. That was actually really cool. It gave us relevant information that we needed at the time to actually perform an emergency landing. in terms of direction, travel. It took care of the having to find the nearest on the GPS. This is a cool feature, I think, in the real, and I'm gesturing a lot here, so this is a really cool feature in the actual aircraft, that you can immediately get vectored to the nearest. It will tell you how far above the ground you are, where it is, how far. Useful information that you need to save time and fly the plane. Because otherwise you have to go to your GPS, hit nearest list, pick the nearest on the list. Oh, can I make it that far? Well, this shows you how far it thinks you can make it. Is it going to be perfectly accurate? No. But it's a great indication, which saves you a lot of time. I can put the brakes on there. So far, between this flight and the previous one I took using the TDS unit and the PMS, downsides of this one is it's using a fixed database. It's not using necessarily the Sims one, and it's not going to be necessarily updating as it goes, along with the fact it's got Navigraph charts for North America. However, PMS, you can obviously add on the Navigraph charts wherever you want it to be. That's useful for that. But this is a newer unit with the NXi model, which I like. Its functionality, I think, is much slicker in terms of how it works. It's a much more user-friendly unit, and it has more tools it can apply. With more knowledge and more experience, you can do a lot with it. We'll disable that. Yes, we'll deactivate Smart Glide. Okay. Obviously, it won't work below 1,000 feet. The fact that I can go in here and I can work up my procedures, I can look at my nearest lists, real simple. It is so useful. It gives us so many tools that normally we obviously have, but in a really user-friendly, functional way. And if I can put music in it too, that would be even cooler, won't it? But yeah, the information is good. The way that it displays terrain is good. The way it displays airport information, detail on the map is good. It really does provide a nice user-friendly system. If anything, it feels way more information than I'm used to getting in a way easier way. The information is faster to reach, it is easy to read, it is quicker to understand, and if you have more information to hand that you can digest faster, you can fly better. Don't fly like me, that's a terrible idea. I'm awful, don't do that. I'm crazy. But at the same time, would I buy this over the PMS? Well, this isn't a side-by-side review by any means. This is my first impressions of using it, really, having tested it once before. My first impressions are it's great. But at the same time, not all aircraft will allow it to function. Some do, some don't. There's a lot that are having integration for it, but there's a lot that don't. And this is the issue when it comes to using these kind of systems. Obviously, since Sim Update 10, you can no longer replace the central screen of a G1000 with this because it conflicts with the working title MFD system. So there are problems there. These units are, if you're flying a type of plane that supports it a lot, fantastic. If you're flying many different planes, is it always going to be useful? I don't know. Either way, I'm waffling too much. Thank you for joining me on this little flight and putting up with my harebrained stupidity. And, yes, have a wonderful weekend. I love you lots. Bye.